everyone, welcome to the Ever Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading focuses on how you can show yourself some love. Because a lot of other readings focus on your relationships with other people or how you can move towards a goal, I really wanted this one to be about how you can just show yourself love, practice self-care, that kind of thing. So before we get started, just a reminder that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everyone, so that's fine. Just take what resonates for your situation and disregard the rest. I would also like to request that if you enjoy this, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can see when I've posted new content, and thank you to those of you who have already subscribed. So we have 4 piles here today. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. So just take a deep breath, use your intuition, let it guide you to a pile. I'm going to put timestamps in the description and in the comments below. And now let's get started with pile number 1. Hi group 1, so if you chose the kind of white and multicolored cat, then this is your reading. Welcome. So I'm going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end, so we will figure out how you can show yourself some love. So for tarot, you have the 6 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, and 10 of Cups. And then for your oracle, you have Tree, Let Them Go, number 18. Help from Above, number 27. Bearing Fruit, number 12. Healing, number 26. And then for your self-care oracle, you actually got 2. So you got Soak in a Bath, number 46, and then Take a Walk, number 52. So just from all your cards kind of put together, I feel like you are probably somebody who tends to give generously, but not necessarily accept help in return, and you don't always know when to walk away from just giving to people. I feel like you tend to give and give and give, and you overgive, and you often give to situations that are not giving anything back to you. So I do, before we get going any further, I do want to read what's on the back of your Spirit Cat card. So you got generosity, how fitting. Meet Sapphire, the generous spirit in us all. When it is dark outside, he will always come through for us with his dancing rainbow lights and gentle eyes. Allow generosity to flow in all directions. Offer your hand, your ear, your understanding, and your heart to a person in need. Graciously receive the help from another when you are challenged, stuck, or down on your luck. That's where I feel like a lot of you probably have trouble. Be generous with yourself. Give yourself time, love, and sweet, nurturing care. We take turns being the helper and the one in need of help. Generosity connects us to something larger than ourselves. Yeah, so I definitely feel like for this group, you probably tend to give to many people, but you do have trouble receiving. I think you tend to walk away from receiving in situations and you tend to just kind of give. You might be the type of person who wants to kind of save people, and especially because this healing card is here, I feel like you might be a healer, but the problem with healers is that we don't always heal ourselves or like fill our cup back up when we need it, and I feel like that's something that you probably need to do to be able to show yourself some love. Be generous with yourself, extend that generosity to yourself as well. You might be getting some signs and synchronicities right now that are kind of reminding you to take it easy and to give back to yourself and to accept help when you need it. So even ask like your spirit guides or ask people around you for help when you need it, because I feel like you probably don't tend to do that as often as you should. I think for many of you, you probably have a lot of trouble asking for help. You feel weak or ashamed when you ask for help, and just don't be. You know, you don't look down on other people when they need help and you want to give. Remember, it's often a joy to give to other people, so don't take that joy away from others. With this tree card that says let them go, I feel like this might be like a family trait kind of passed down, that many people in your family might have been kind of the helper who's kind of saved other people or who's given so much to others but not asked for anything in return. And it's okay to kind of end that cycle with you, to try to balance things out a little better and to accept help coming in towards you and to take a break when you need it. This also could be kind of reminding you that when you are giving constantly to situations that are not giving you anything back, it's okay to walk away from those. You can let go of things that aren't bearing fruit, because we do have this bearing fruit card. So I think it's important for you to figure out which situations are actually thriving and which situations are making you feel good and make you feel like they're building you up, and which situations are draining you. So just remember to kind of focus on that and to pay attention to how you feel after you leave from spending time with people. If you end up feeling drained or if you feel built up and refreshed. And then your self-care tips. Soaking in a bath can help you just kind of feel cleansed, relaxed. It's just sometimes it can feel really indulgent, and I feel like that's something you need to do is just kind of indulge, just make sure that you take time to just spend on your own. Treat yourself like a queen or king, just make sure that you do things that kind of help you feel healed. Because I'm seeing this healing card is kind of popping out to me again. So I feel like you do need to like rest your muscles if you tend to just be constantly on the go physically. Just make sure that you're resting kind of in between events, and make sure that you're taking care of your body, because with take a walk, I feel like maybe exercise is something that you need to focus on, but also just kind of stepping away from the stressful situations in your life. I feel like you probably have a lot of burdens on you because maybe you're a caretaker for many people, and sometimes you just need to get away from it all, just decompress and reconnect with nature and just be alone with your thoughts for a little while. I feel like that's definitely something that you have to kind of remind yourself and remind other people that you need, is just to be alone, step away, so that you can just kind of process through some things and maybe still your mind. Because if you're kind of a typical like giver and healer, you might be the type that's always got thoughts going through your head about other people, that you're always worrying about others. And I think you need to kind of get into a conscious routine of just focusing on yourself, focusing on how you feel, and reconnecting with what your body is telling you. So I want to get your charms now to see what other advice they have for you. So yeah, group 1, how can you show yourself some love? So for your numbers, you have 4 and 6, so those might be significant for some people. I don't remember if we had a 46. So I was just thinking that. So yeah, I feel like many of you probably soaking in a bath would be a good thing for you to do. Just like remind yourself that it's okay to indulge and do something a little bit luxurious for yourself. Make yourself feel really special. Light some candles, dim the lights, use some special salts or oils or a bath bomb or something like that, and just really enjoy yourself. Just take an hour to yourself to just unwind and give back to yourself, just make yourself feel like you're in a spa or something. But I feel like that's definitely something that you have to be reminded to do, is take care of yourself, do something nice for yourself, be generous with yourself. We're seeing laugh here, so I think laughter might actually help many of you. And I'm seeing secrets, so I wonder if some of you are either keeping secrets from others or keeping secrets for other people, and whatever that is, that's a burden on you, that you're having to keep something from other people in your life. So just even if you can find an outlet to kind of get that out, if you write it down or talk to a therapist or something, or somebody like totally on the outside of the situation, someone impartial that you can just kind of unload, or talk to yourself about it. But just, I feel like sometimes that kind of thing can eat us up, and just, when, especially if it's something that you're trying to solve, like if it's a problem that somebody has or that you have that you're trying to solve without help from other people, recognize you can ask for help, and just try to kind of put that burden down once in a while. Take time to not think about it, and then if you just get stuck and you feel like you don't have a solution, ask somebody, talk to someone, talk it out with somebody, or even just talk it out, with your spirit guides, with yourself, in a journal, whatever. But I feel like there is a possible solution for that kind of situation, especially if you listen to your inner wisdom and maybe talk to somebody who would give good advice. But yeah, I think you need to find a way to kind of reintroduce like peace and serenity and just stillness back into your life, because I feel like you're always busy. With this gear here, it's just making me think that you're always doing something, you're always working, you're just a cog in a machine sometimes, or at least it can feel that way, where you just feel like you're always on the go and you're always being used. And just know that if you don't kind of take care of the machinery, it wears down. You know, it can get like grimy and gross, and it can like literally wear down, and then once it gets all the way worn down, you can't use it anymore. So just remember to stop and kind of fill yourself back up before you re-embark on these endeavors, you know, before you jump back into things. We're seeing X. So I'm not sure if some of you are dealing with an X. It could be an initial for some of you, but it could just be something from your past, something that you're not really involved with anymore that's weighing on you. But I feel like even though it's something from the past, it's something that's still eating at you. And so that might be something that you just have to learn how to let go and just release it, and, you know, work at releasing it, talk to somebody about it or whatever. But I think it might be just something that's still eating at you, even if you feel like you've let it go. Look for peace, you know, find moments of peace in your life. I feel like for many of you, if you're always busy, it's hard to find those moments that are just still and kind of away from anything stressful. But I think you might need to make more of a conscious effort to find moments like that and to create moments like that so that you don't burn out. You have the dream catcher here, so pay special attention to your dreams as well. I feel like many of you might be having very stressful dreams, or like weird dreams that are just, you know, that you're waking up and feeling anxious right away when you get up, or, you know, you're trying to figure out where these dreams are coming from. And just know that if you're feeling anxious, your brain might be trying to kind of solve these problems in like as you sleep. And so just maybe pay attention to any kind of symbolism or any insights that you get when you first wake up. A dream journal might be a good idea for some of you, but just know that your brain's kind of trying to work through stuff when you sleep. So you might also want to kind of take time to wind down before you go to sleep so that you're not just dwelling on things. You know, again, write it down maybe, or talk to somebody, and just try to kind of leave things at the door when you go to sleep so that you're not keeping yourself up from the stress of your problems from the daytime. You have Leo here, so you might be a Leo or be dealing with some Leo people in your life, but otherwise it can just have to do with passion and being kind of at the center of everything. So that's kind of initially my thought, is that you are at the center of many people's worlds, in that people always kind of want something from you, you know, because Leos tend to be comfortable in the spotlight and getting attention and things like that. And I feel like maybe you are just getting a lot of attention from many different people, but it's not in a way that's refilling you or that's boosting you. I feel like it might just be draining you. You know, everybody wants something from you instead of wanting to give to you or wanting to kind of boost you or build you up. I feel like they're all just trying to take from you. So just know you can set boundaries and kind of step away from that when you need it. You have the leaves here, so that's kind of more messages of letting things go. And you also have the saw. So again, just cutting things down, you know, cutting away things that no longer serve you, making sure that you're not focusing on things that are no longer a part of your life or that are not serving you any longer. I feel like you're definitely a very active and action-oriented person, but just, again, make sure that you take time to kind of explore your thoughts, explore your feelings, practice some self-care, you know, and like with that kind of Little Mermaid charm there, it's making me think of the song Part of Your World. So I feel like maybe some of you are wanting to achieve something, wanting to kind of move in a new direction, but you just don't have the time yet, or you don't know how to get there, or you feel like you've got obligations at home or at work that are keeping you from that. So just maybe that's something that you can do when you're taking a walk or taking a bath and just taking time for yourself, is find a way to maybe integrate some of that new life into your current life. You know, find ways to kind of indulge a little bit and find a way to live the life that you want to live. With these cherries as well, that's making me think more of indulgence. So I do think that that's definitely a word many of you need to hear right now, is indulge. Allow yourself to indulge. And I think good luck and joy are coming to you. So again, allow joy into your life, because with this dragonfly in particular, with the kind of bubble around him, I feel like many of you might kind of keep joy at bay, that you have a hard time allowing joy into your life, allowing laughter in, because you always are kind of focused on your to-do list. You're always focused on what you need to do for other people and what needs to get done, and just focusing on kind of the day-to-day tasks. And I think you need to sometimes just let that go, take a few hours to just enjoy your life again, just focus on the little things and just enjoy all those, just the day-to-day things that make you feel good. So just remember to indulge, take care of yourself, and be as generous with yourself as you are with other people, and allow other people to give to you too. Because I'm sure that you have many people in your lives who are willing to give to you and want to give to you, but I think you just have a hard time accepting it. So just make sure that you're not getting in your own way in this situation. So group 1, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 2, so if you chose this dark cat with the kind of yellow-orange background, then this is your message. Welcome. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out how you can show yourself some love. So for tarot, you got the Lovers, 5 of Swords, and 5 of Wands. And then for your oracle, you got Thorns, Weave Together the Crown You Deserve, number 14. Princess, You Can Be Your Own Knight, number 1. Family and Tribe, number 20. A Powerful Move, number 15. Progress, number 29. Protection, number 30. And then for your self-care oracle, you got Make a Meal, number 32. So just from your tarot cards to start, I feel like you might be somebody who's very competitive and who does not like to lose. Maybe you have a hard time kind of accepting defeat, and you find ways to win kind of no matter the cost. And with this powerful move, that's kind of the same vibe that I'm getting. So I feel like maybe you have a hard time kind of showing your softer side to people, that you're always kind of in a position of power, feeling powerful and strong. And with this Lovers card in particular, the fact that the guy here is crying and just kind of being held by his girlfriend or whoever this is, I feel like you might have a hard time kind of showing your sensitive side to other people. And so that's kind of the first thing that I'm getting, is that you can be like vulnerable with people. You don't have to always be the strong one or the powerful one or the winner, because with this Princess, You Can Be Your Own Knight, I feel like you definitely are independent and you're used to only depending on yourself. And especially because this is number 1 as well, I feel like you often like to be number 1 and you have a hard time when you're not. And that's great, but just recognize that you can kind of build other people up too, and allow other people to kind of build you up in a different way, to be soft and just generous with you. Because with this Weave Together the Crown You Deserve, that's often about like celebrating yourself, but not necessarily in like a success way, but just celebrating who you are on the inside, being kind to yourself, focusing kind of on your emotions. And I feel like maybe you tend to protect your heart too much, because we see this protection card and there's actually this heart-shaped lock there. So I feel like many of you have a hard time kind of not protecting yourself, that you tend to keep your heart kind of locked up and you only want to show your strong side to people. And even with this Family and Tribe, I feel like maybe that's how you were raised for a while, because these people definitely look strong and powerful, and they've got this like kind of white tiger here too. So I feel like, yeah, I think you probably have a hard time not being in kind of fierce mode, if that makes sense, that you don't want to let down your guard or let other people in all the time, but just know it's okay to let people in. It's okay to be sensitive. But before we go any further, I do want to read you the back of your spirit cat, and you got vulnerability. Okay, that's exactly what we were talking about, so that's funny. Meet Shadow. This little kitten hasn't had the easiest time. You might see him peeking out of a dark alley or quickly slipping out of sight in an abandoned building. What he really needs is some love and nurturing. Don't you just want to take him home and cuddle him? Well, that's what he wants too, even though he might not show it at first. Shadow is the part of us that has ever been afraid, defensive, lonely, hurt, or angry. He's our deepest vulnerabilities. He is the place inside that needs love more than anything, and you are the one to give that love. Look at those eyes. You know you want to. So, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking this was about, is just allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's not a weakness to show your feelings or to feel sad or scared or anything like that. So I think that's how you need to show yourself some love, is just recognize your emotions and make sure that you are taking care of yourself, nurture yourself rather than kind of shutting down that kind of more sensitive, even if it's like an inner child side of you. Maybe you were like often kind of put down as a kid if you were ever showing a sensitive side, if you cried or if you were ever afraid, and maybe people told you to just suck it up, and that's not always the best way to do things. It's great to move forward and to kind of be strong and be number one, but that's not the only way to do things, and that doesn't always work for every situation. So I just think in order to kind of make progress in your life, you might need to kind of master your vulnerable side, your emotional side. I think that might be something that would kind of help you, is just nurturing yourself. And kind of speaking of nurturing yourself, you have this make a meal. So I wonder if just the act of cooking for yourself and nourishing yourself with healthy foods and just doing something like that would kind of help you, feel taken care of, if that makes sense. Because I feel like you're somebody who maybe prides yourself on not needing to be taken care of, and it's okay to need to be taken care of once in a while, or to take care of yourself as well. So I think that's just a way for you to kind of nurture that softer side and to feel taken care of, even if it's you who's doing it. And maybe don't be afraid, if you have a partner or something, don't be afraid to ask them for nurturing, or ask them to, like, if they'd do something nice for you, just communicate about that. But I think that might even help you, is to just kind of allow yourself to be a little bit more open and vulnerable, and just allow your heart to open up a little bit, and allow yourself to have the opportunity to be hurt, if that makes sense. Like, not that you want to go in and jump in and get hurt, but just loving anybody or being loved by someone is opening ourselves up to hurt. So I feel like just making sure that you're not shutting down to that because you're afraid of being hurt, So just find the people that you feel comfortable with. Find like your family and your tribe, even if it's not the people that you're related to, if it's just friends or, a partner or something like that. Just turn to them when you need that love and nurturing, and allow yourself to just be open and vulnerable and kind of raw with them. But I do want to get your charms now for some more information. So, group 2, how can you show yourself some love? Okay, so for the numbers, you got 26 and 22, so those could be significant numbers for you. And I do want to really quick check the cards, because we actually got the same numbers in the charms as we did on the cards before, but I don't think that we have anything like that right now. So you have the letter E here, and then for your words you have travel and you have life. So I wonder if many of you are travelers, or you kind of pride yourselves on being kind of worldly, like having a lot of experience, being able to go anywhere and just being up for anything. Because I'm seeing the word crazy here too. So maybe your life would seem kind of crazy to people. You might be kind of an adrenaline junkie in a way, and that you pride yourself on just being brave and bold and just moving forward at all times. But just recognize it's okay to take a slower pace and to just check in with how you're feeling as well. Oh, and we also have an S. I don't know, I missed that because it was the blue one. But so we have E and S. So automatically what I'm thinking of with those initials is the phrase emotional support. So do not be afraid to get emotional support from other people, and don't be afraid to provide that for other people too, because I feel like a lot of the time when we're kind of in a competitive mode or a defensive mode, it's hard to kind of open up to other people or to allow them to open up to us. And if we don't know how to explore our emotions, sometimes it helps if somebody else leads by example. Like if someone else is being vulnerable and opening up to you, it might help you kind of find a template that you can follow when you want to open up to someone else. So just keep that in mind. I feel like maybe in the past when you've opened up to somebody, you felt like you kind of screwed yourself over because we've got this skeleton who's kind of hanging himself there. So I feel like maybe in the past you were vulnerable with someone and you ended up getting hurt by it, or someone betrayed you, so you just feel like, you know what, that was my own doing, I'm not going to do that again. But just get back in the saddle. I'm seeing the saddle here and I feel like it's just saying get back in there, try again, find someone new. Like if somebody betrayed you in the past, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to. Don't be afraid to open up again. I feel like some people are kind of trying to get your attention to like get you to open up or to say, hey, I'm here for you or something like that, and you're just kind of shutting it down, you're ignoring them. But I feel like just maybe pay attention. You might be getting like some signs and synchronicities that you're ignoring too. It might be butterflies for some of you. I'm seeing the butterfly here. But that's also a symbol of transformation. And we do have the skull with the flower here too, which does also have to do with transformation because it's death into life again. So I feel like just recognize that just because you went through hurt in the past does not mean that that's always how it's going to be. And I feel like you've kind of shut down a part of yourself and you need to allow that to kind of blossom again, open up. Because if you're just living boldly and bravely and moving forward in kind of an aggressive way, you're only living part of a life. That emotional stuff is kind of half of it. I feel like you're missing out on things if you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable and open with people as well. So just be aware of that. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be probably a long process for many of you if you've been in kind of protection mode for a long time, because we've got the thimble here, which has to do with protection a lot of the time. But the second meaning I have for that today is, I don't know if anyone's ever seen the movie Hook, but it just makes me think of the kiss, there. So just kind of that innocent love, like kind of child, puppy love situation. So I feel like maybe you just need to kind of be innocent in that way, just indulge in that kind of childlike sense of just love with no expectations attached to it, just wanting to do something nice for someone else just because, or open up to someone else just because you want to connect with them, not adding on all the layers of adult complications that we manage to kind of tie into things. So just recognize that you can open up to things. I know that it's often scary to do so because with the unknown here, we don't always know what's going to happen. But the thing is, even if people keep hurting you, that's not going to happen with everybody. Not every single person that you ever are interacting with is going to hurt you, or they're definitely not going to be out to hurt you. So just know that you can open up to people. You can definitely kind of cut off people who are no longer serving you or aren't good for you, but just know that right now it seems like many of your behaviors might be things that are no longer serving you. So you might need to cut those out as well. And just know that the sun will come out again. If you're in a period of time that just feels horrible, or you're trying to ignore kind of difficult emotional situations that you're in right now, the sun's going to come back out again. And I feel like it's just around the corner. If you feel like it's been a long time where you've just felt emotionally crappy and that's why you're trying to kind of tamp it down and focus on other things, know that that positive moment is just around the corner. So just hang in there and know that things will change. You just have to be willing to open up and be vulnerable again. Get back in the saddle and try again. So group 2, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 3, so if you chose this card that has a bunch of different cats on it who are, I think, sitting on mushrooms and they're all kind of connected by these beads or whatever it is, then this is your message. Welcome. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out how you can show yourself some love. So for your tarot, you got the Wheel of Fortune, 2 of Cups, and the High Priestess. And then for your oracle, You got shark, swim away from the situation, number 35. Courage, number 30. Time machine, number 3. It is what it is, number 6. Harmony, number 25. Radiate, number 32. And then your self-care oracle card is number 43, Rest. So I feel like for many of you, you've been through a situation that's maybe not what you wanted, or you feel out of control in a situation, because we've got the Wheel of Fortune here, which has to do with kind of universal change, but oftentimes good luck. And then you have Time Machine, which is kind of mimicking that wheel there. So I feel like maybe something in the past happened and you weren't happy about it, and now maybe you're having a hard time kind of accepting that things are the way that they are, because you have it is what it is. So I feel like maybe in order to kind of love yourself more, you need to start by accepting the situation the way it is currently. Like maybe one thing that I'm getting is with this Two of Cups, and then you have Shark, which is swim away from the situation. Maybe you were having a hard time because somebody that you care about turned out not to be a good person, and that this is maybe someone that you trusted for a long time and then they betrayed you or something like that, or it turned toxic, but that you just need to leave that situation behind. So just recognize that you want to look into a time where there's more harmony. You want to kind of move into a period where you're maybe being more yourself. I feel like for many of you, you might have had a situation where you were kind of having to dim your light for somebody else, and you don't want that. You want somebody who's going to build you up and kind of help you out, and just look for those situations that are more harmonious. And I feel like your instincts and your intuition have been telling you that this person is not a good person, or this situation is not good, and it's kind of trying to lead you to new people and new situations. Because I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune and that Two of Cups, that's a good situation, that's really positive for your tarot. So I just feel like maybe you're doubting that you'll ever find people again, but just connect with the people that are around you. Be brave in moving into new periods of time. Make sure that you're not kind of holding back because you feel like everyone's going to turn out the same way, and just know that just because one person didn't turn out how you had hoped, that doesn't mean that everybody is going to. Before we move any further, I do want to read the back of your card here. So yeah, you have connection. And it says, the spirit cats remind us that we are not alone. We are a web of connections. Our attitudes, actions, and energy ripple outward and touch people in ways seen and unseen. No single action stands alone. Each action, idea, and feeling is born out of countless influences, and in turn has its own unique effect. We see this most clearly and dramatically in our innermost circle, but this also extends outward to humanity, the earth, and the universe. Our consciousness dances together, challenging, uplifting, teaching, learning, questioning, reassuring, inspiring, and loving. So yeah, I feel like just recognize that you do have other opportunities. You have other ways to connect with people. I feel like many of you might actually be very intuitive as well, and you're maybe kind of ignoring your intuition in favor of situations that maybe aren't right for you, because you've been hoping that something would change, or that this person maybe wasn't meaning you harm or something, and that you've been kind of changing yourself and what your intuition is telling you. You've been ignoring that in favor of what somebody else is telling you, even though they don't have your best interests at heart. So yeah, I just think maybe find ways to kind of connect with your intuition. I feel like many of you definitely need to get better sleep, rest, find ways to maybe meditate if you've tried meditating. Maybe some guided meditations might be helpful for many of you, or like white noise to kind of help you sleep. Because I feel like when situations are weighing on us, or things are changing, and if our intuition is trying to tell us something and we're ignoring it, a lot of the time it can kind of mess with our sleep. So just know that might be something that you need to put conscious effort into, is sleep and rest. I do think just being brave to move into a new cycle here, with that Wheel of Fortune as well, that's cycles. So I feel like with this kind of creature in the back who's like coming at this guy, I feel like you've dealt with situations like that where just it seems like people were kind of coming at you from around every corner, and just keep shining your light. Make sure that you're moving forward and being brave and knowing that things will turn out. You just might have to kind of cut through people and situations that aren't right for you, but just knowing that you are powerful enough to just kind of radiate through, and you don't have to like dim yourself to just satisfy other people. I feel like that's a big theme here, is that you've probably been kind of ignoring who you truly are in favor of what someone else wanted, or to kind of please somebody else, or try to keep someone around, maybe, that you've been afraid that if they left you, you wouldn't have anybody. And I don't think that that's the case. I feel like just recognize that you've got a lot of other people around you, and if you don't have like a circle right now of people who you feel care about you, it's not going to be long before you will. You just have to keep putting yourself out there and be brave, and just try to forge little connections every day. Just do things to connect with people, even if it's just saying hello or smiling at someone. And I know you can't see people smiling right now when we're all wearing masks outside, if you're watching this while when I release it. But yeah, I just feel like making sure that you just do little things here and there to kind of connect with people. And I think you're going to be surprised at how many connections you might actually make, who responds to you and who maybe kind of feels better about themselves because you smiled at them. You have the power to kind of affect people deeply, and just recognizing too when people do that for you, because I feel like that might make you feel less alone and less disconnected from everyone around you. And I think that might help you to kind of realize what the situation is that you're in, so that you don't try to kind of change the way that it looks in your mind to satisfy yourself with the status quo, even if that's not what feels right in your soul, if that makes sense. So I am going to get your charms now, group 3, to see some more information, see what else they have to tell us. So group 3, how can you show yourself some love? So yeah, right away I am seeing the star, like the double star here. So that often has to do with performing, but it also just says shine your light. Don't dim yourself to make somebody else happier, or to try to make somebody else shine more brightly by comparison. The people around you will be shining as brightly as the people around them do, if that makes sense. It's like the brighter you shine, the more you give other people permission to shine brightly. And if someone feels threatened by that, then they're not someone you want around anyway. They have their own stuff to work through, and they need to work to the point where they're comfortable enough shining their light regardless of other people. So you have the number 14 here. We did have another group that got some repeating numbers in the cards as well as in the charms, so I just want to make sure. I don't think that we have any repeating numbers here, so but 14 is temperance energy, and we do have the letter T here as well, so temperance might be something significant for you. But yeah, just the healing process and being patient with yourself, and just recognizing like it might take some time for you to get the right kind of blend of energies and tasks, and just things for you to do where you feel comfortable being yourself and moving forward. Because I think if you're trying to kind of disentangle with somebody, it might take some time, and you just need to be patient with yourself while you're working through that process. You have Aquarius here for the zodiac signs, and you also have Gemini, so a lot of air energy. But yeah, Aquarius just has to do with your uniqueness, and sometimes being idealistic about the world. And I feel like overall that's just saying, shine your light. Don't be afraid to be different than other people, and just make sure that you're not kind of shutting yourself down to make other people feel more comfortable or feel like they're more special by comparison. And just know that if you do that, like, think a little bit idealistically. Like, if you start being your true self, other people have permission to do the same, and then that kind of cycle of authenticity continues. And Gemini has to do with communication. So just recognize that you can reach out to people, and I think the more that you communicate and reach out to other people, the more positive feedback you're going to get. Because I feel like maybe being around the people who have kind of drained you and not been good situations for you has kind of led you to shut down against other people. And I think just making sure that you're open to that will help you kind of move forward into a better time. You have peace here. Sorry, it's hard to read some of these. And you also have truth. So yeah, I feel like you're going to find more peace if you just kind of start speaking your truth, living more authentically, that kind of thing. You have sport here. So maybe sports are important to you, or being a good sport is something that you've been kind of doing for a long time, that you've been just kind of riding along on someone else's life, and that's not been feeling like the right thing for you. And just know you can always change. You know, I think a lot of people feel like they're sentenced to the life that they've been living up to this point, and just recognize that you can always change, you can always move forward and do something different, and just tell yourself when enough is enough and move into a new time period. You do have a couple other like sports metaphors here, because we've got the gymnast here who's doing kind of a back bend, and then we have the golfer. So with the back bend, I feel like being flexible for one would kind of help you, just making sure that you're not being rigid about how you expect people to come to you or what you expect people to be like, and just adjusting to kind of new situations, new circumstances, new kind of social skills, new like just new people in general. You know, everyone's going to bring their own individual quirks, and I think just allowing yourself to kind of go with the flow might help you in that department. And then with the golfer, a lot of the time that just has to do with kind of a hole-in-one situation, like where you're wanting to get it done just in one try, and just know that it might take a few tries. You know, you might do better at one thing than another. You know, one hole you might get a hole-in-one, and then the next one you might be like way over par. So just recognize that it's not always going to be just a one and done kind of situation, especially when meeting new people or finding situations that feel right to you. You might just have to kind of play the numbers game and keep trying, keep getting in there, and just the more often that you do that, the more likely you will be to find something that is right for you, that fits for you. We have yin and yang here. So with the yin yang, it makes me think again a little bit of temperance energy, and just like kind of finding the right blend of qualities and traits and situations in your life that feel right to you, but also finding a connection that just feels like it fits with you. Because I feel like if you've been in especially a romantic connection in the recent past that just felt like it didn't fit, that you were trying to fit into somebody else's idea of an ideal partner and it just wasn't you, so you were changing yourself, know that there's someone else out there for you who will fit you much better than this past person did. And with friends and stuff too, just know if you felt like you didn't fit, you are going to find people that fit much better with you, where it just feels like a seamless blend of energies. So just keep hoping and stay open to that, because I think you're going to be surprised as to how you find that. You have the mixer here. So again, just mixing different energies, finding the right ingredients. It's just going to take some experimentation, some trial and error. You know, it's probably going to require you to kind of fail in many situations, and that's okay. Just know each failure puts you closer to the situation that's right for you. You have Pegasus here, which is a symbol of creativity and healing and uniqueness. So again, just I think being your unique self and finding creative ways to meet people and to do new things, and maybe starting on a creative project for many of you, because I am seeing a few different symbols of creativity here, because with the stars too, that can be performing. So maybe finding like a creative group to be with might make you feel a little bit more like you can be your true self. You know, maybe you've always felt like kind of the odd one out because you're creative or artsy, and you just don't know people like that. So just maybe find a group with a common like a common interest, or you know, you're all into the same thing. I think that might help you, because I just feel like you might not feel quite so like ostracized anymore, just like the black sheep anymore. We have the Buddha here, which has to do with enlightenment. So I think you're going to have that moment where you just feel like all is right with the world, like you feel like you finally kind of found what you're here to do. You know, you found a sense of purpose, you're finding like what uniqueness you want to focus on, that kind of thing. And we've got like communication here with this bird, so I feel like you might get some communication or an invitation and just say yes. I feel like that's what I'm getting, is say yes to things, just try things out. You do have potential for growth here. I think you're feeling deeply rooted to the situation you're in now, and just, again, know that you can change. Just kind of believe in magic, believe that things can change and grow, and again, with this rainbow fish, its uniqueness, just embrace your authentic self. Don't be afraid to kind of show who you truly are. Come out of your shell a little bit, try new things, and, take your walls down. Because I think, know that you can cheer yourself on. I think you might find people who are going to be willing to cheer you on, and know that your spirit guides are also cheering you on. So you don't have to kind of stay in this protection mode anymore. Like with the umbrella there, it's always about, like, kind of worrying that you're going to have to protect yourself, being prepared. Just know that you can kind of let down your guard. You don't have to worry so much, because I think you're going to find more love in your life. You're going to find more unconditional love, because with this cat with the heart there, it's just like how animals are unconditionally loving towards us. I think you're going to find people in your life who make you feel that same way, where you just feel like they accept you for who you are, what mood you're in, just all of it. And I think it's going to make you wonder why you ever stayed in those past situations so long. So group 3, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 4, so if you chose this orange kind of glowing cat, then this is your message. Welcome. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out how you can show yourself some love. So for your tarot, you have the 3 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Star. And then for your oracle, you have Library, take control of your own narrative, number 22. Wild, number 15. Healing the Heart, number 23. Reflection, number 33. So you have a lot of 2s and 3s in here and a lot of kind of repeating numbers. You have that 22 and 33. You have Connect with the Earth, number 13. And your final self-care oracle card is number 23, Family. So you have a repeated number 23. So that might be significant for some of you. But overall, I'm seeing a lot of 2s and 3s, so that could be kind of extra confirmations that this is the message you need to hear right now. So yeah, with the Star in particular, that's calling out to me. So I feel like many of you need to kind of follow your dreams a little bit, follow your heart. I feel like you might be wanting to do something that seems kind of impossible, or you're trying to figure out how to move forward in your life in a way that feels authentic to you. And I think with the Star and that Knight of Cups, he follows his heart. He's gonna just move forward from his heart. He doesn't sit and kind of overanalyze and talk himself out of things. If he feels it, he's gonna move forward. And then that kind of brings me to this Wild card as well, because I feel like this makes me think of just being authentic, allowing yourself to just be kind of your raw core self, rather than kind of filtering yourself or polishing up and being who you think other people want you to be. This is just you at your most authentic and kind of intuitive self. And with Library too, it says take control of your own narrative. So many of you might be living lives that feel inauthentic to you, or you might have been living a life that felt like not what you wanted to be doing because you were doing something that someone else wanted you to be doing. You were following a career path that someone convinced you to do, or you were doing something because it would make someone else proud, but really you just need to kind of find a way to be your authentic self. I feel like many of you are kind of suffering from some sort of heartbreak, or feeling like your heart is feeling heavy because you haven't been your authentic self. And I think that this might be something that will help you to heal, is to move into a period of time where you're doing what you want to be doing. I think for many of you, this might be career oriented, because we do have the 3 of Pentacles here. So I think finding a group of people to work with and build a foundation with might kind of help you. And if you're not sure what this thing is yet, I do think a period of reflection might help you. Because we're seeing Connect with the Earth and we have Family as well. So with Connect to the Earth, I feel like that might help you kind of reflect on what you want to do. Just kind of that grounding energy can kind of help us stop overthinking and connect with just what our intuition is telling us. And then with family, there might be people in your life, they might be the people you're actually related to, or it might just be good friends or other loved ones. But I feel like connecting with them and seeing what they picture you doing, or seeing what they have to say about you when you were younger, or, before you started feeling kind of more worn down, maybe they can kind of help you reflect and reconnect with what you really want to be doing. So I think that's some ways to show yourself some love, is just reconnect with kind of who you are at your most authentic, your most raw. Just connect with your intuition and kind of that driving force and sense of purpose. But before we go any further, I do want to read what's on the back of your Spirit Cat card. So it says, Illumination. Meet Glow. She shines her warm light into our dark places. She illuminates our fears and our shadows, giving us the courage to face them, to unravel them, and to bring healing. Sometimes it may seem easier to take the long route around the dark forest within, but Glow knows that true ease comes from presence, not avoidance. So carry her with you as you journey into the depths of your heart and soul. Let her loving light warm the places of shame, hurt, sadness, disappointment, anger, and guilt. She can turn the darkest, twisted forest into a golden cove of love. So, yeah, I feel like many of you maybe have been feeling hurt from something and like maybe there's some fears or situations from childhood even that could be kind of affecting you. But I feel like overall many of you have just been feeling hurt because maybe people were feeling ashamed of you, or acting like you brought kind of dishonor to their lives, or to like your family is not proud of you or something like that, and that's why I want to kind of emphasize that family does not always mean the people that you're related to by blood. It can be just anybody supportive and loving who is there for you and loves you no matter what. So just kind of take that as it resonates. But I do think many of you are feeling hurt because you've been not feeling in control of your own lives, that people have had certain expectations of you, or you felt obligated to live your life a certain way because of family obligations, or maybe a partner wanted you to be a certain way, or all of your friends or your environment were all doing one type of thing, and you just felt wrong if you were deviating, or expectations were not allowing you to feel like you could be your authentic self. And I think that this is saying you can show yourself more love by allowing yourself to reflect and figure out what your heart is telling you that you want and what your purpose is. And I think following that will help you kind of show more love to yourself. I do want to see what your charms have to say, so we're going to do that next to get some more information. So, group 4, how can you show yourself some love? So, we have number 12 here. So that could be a significant number for some of you, or a date or something. I do want to check to make sure. I don't think that we had any number 12s here, but we do have a number 13, and we did have a lot of 2s as well. So just take that as it resonates. But number 12 also has to do with the hanged man, which is kind of funny because we have the skeleton who's kind of hanging himself here. So I feel like this might be, you might have been kind of putting yourself in like a self-inflicted situation where you were taking a pause or a break from something. You were suspended, or feeling like you had to take a step back and just get a different perspective on things. Maybe you've been living a life that felt inauthentic for so long that you just had to take a step back and pause. And so I feel like if you're feeling stuck right now, just know that you can release yourself, you can move forward. So that might resonate with some people. You have the letter C here for initials. So I do feel like part of that just has to do with clarity and being able to see what you want to do, what way you want to live your life, who you really are, that kind of thing. And I feel like allowing in people to your life that truly see who you are as well is going to be significant. Because I feel like you're doing a lot of healing right now. We've got the starfish here, especially next to the octopus, which has to do with just kind of juggling a lot. And this particular one always makes me think of our fears as well, like just feeling overwhelmed by fears. So, yeah, and then we also have the heart here that's overflowing. So I think just focusing on healing from past fears or shame or guilt that people put on you. I think there's a lot of situations from your past that made you feel ashamed of who you were or of wanting to be a certain way or wanting to live your life a certain way. And I think now reconnecting with yourself and with whatever aspects of yourself you've been denying for a long time is going to help you kind of show your love for yourself. We do have the dragonfly here twice. So we have this one that's kind of in a bubble, which always makes me think that the good feelings, feeling like good luck is coming to you, and that kind of transformative, joyful energy is not quite reaching you. Maybe you're keeping yourself too guarded. But then the dragonfly here as well just talks about joy and good luck and just knowing that it is coming to you, but you might have to kind of take your walls down a little bit to let it in, and then make sure that that kind of negative, shameful energy doesn't penetrate that positive bubble anymore, if that makes sense. You have the little bird here, so I feel like you might be getting communication at some point that maybe will provide you with a new opportunity for a career or for just being your authentic self, and maybe it's something that you wouldn't have ever considered in the past, but I think just give it a chance, just try not to dismiss anything that's coming in, because I feel like you're going to be getting some kind of divine guidance as to how to kind of, I think you're going to be getting some direction on how to start living the life that you want to live. You're going to be getting opportunities that feel like they resonate more. You're going to be meeting people who feel like they're more on the same wavelength as you, that kind of thing. I think just being confident in yourself is going to be significant in showing yourself more love right now. And just recognizing that it's going to take time. It's going to be a step-by-step process, and you might have to do some things before you can feel like you can live your authentic life. So if there's little details in your life that need to get taken care of, if you need to let some things go, if you need to change your location or find a new job or have just a difficult conversation with somebody, I feel like there's something significant that you're aware of that is stopping you, that you've been maybe putting off or that you've been ignoring. And that's something that you have to do before you can really just get the momentum going and move forward into the life that you want to be living. I do think making sure that you give yourself enough breaks and just to reflect and reconnect with yourself again to make sure that you're kind of on the right track, that's going to be significant. I think going with the flow and recognizing that your progress might be kind of slow is going to be significant as well. I feel like many of you have the tendency to want things to happen like immediately, and just know that it might take longer than you want it to, or you might feel like you're in kind of a suspended period of time where you can't act, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you're going to be able to act. Because with this eagle, it always makes me think of how birds of prey tend to either perch or kind of fly around and circle where their prey is, and then they swoop in when the time is right. So I think that kind of energy is going to be significant in your life coming up. With the dream catcher here, it just has to do with making your dreams come true, and again, allowing in the positivity and making sure that you stop the negativity in its tracks, because I think that you might kind of fall into the cycle of shame and guilt, and you might get into kind of negative thought spirals a lot and just feel ashamed of who you are. So just recognize those times when they happen and try to stop them in their tracks. It doesn't mean force it, but just I think it's going to start with awareness, just being aware of when that happens, being aware of your triggers, and just make sure that you treat yourself with kindness when that kind of situation comes up, and reach out to the people around you, the people who love you, to kind of help support you when things get tough. You do have opportunities for new love here, so for many of you that might be significant because you have Cupid here, and you also have the fan. So yeah, I feel like with that fan, that has to do with flirtation and just kind of, how fan language used to be, how people would flirt before you could really interact with people very much on a one-on-one basis. It was how you'd show your interest to other people. So if this doesn't have to do with a relationship of any sort, it could just be kind of flirting with what you want to do. Like if you're wanting to live a certain kind of life or whatever, just testing the waters a little bit, seeing what it would be like maybe visiting a place that you want to live, checking out a company, talking to someone who works there, that kind of thing. But I think for many of you, this does have to do with relationships. So just recognize that you will get new opportunities coming your way for relationships. And I think that they're going to be a lot healthier for you than situations in the past. But just know that I think that healing process has to get going first before you can get to the point of like establishing a new relationship with somebody. But you did have that Knight of Cups as well. So I think that's the Knight of Cups is often like a romantic offer or interest coming in to express himself in a loving way. And then you also have the watermelon. So that always makes me think of summer for one. So for many of you, this kind of person coming in might have to do might come in the summer, or summer might be significant for the two of you, especially if you know this person already, and then they're just going to be kind of stepping your relationship into new territory around the summer, so that could relate to some of you. But it also just has to do with like sweetness and refreshment, just that kind of breath of fresh air after times have felt dark and dismal for a long time, and just feeling good, you know, just that kind of first bite of something new and that feels like you're reconnecting with childhood, or that kind of sense of joy and pleasure that you get when you're a kid, that kind of energy. So I think just know that that energy is coming into your life soon. And just pay attention to the signs and synchronicities. This feather is my charm for signs and synchronicities coming in and like spirit guides trying to get your attention. So just pay attention to when little kind of unusual occurrences happen. So if you see feathers floating by your window, if you see that a lot, if you see certain animals, birds, insects, things like that. For many of you, the dragonfly might be significant because you do have this dragonfly and you have this one. So just be aware of when that happens, and maybe you want to look up what those spirit animals mean as well, because that can often be significant to many of you. So just know that that's often a sign that you're on the right track, or that things are going to be improving in your life soon. So just kind of hang in there. Just know that things are getting better, and just recognize that following your heart, I think, is a really wonderful way for you to show yourself some love. Just showing love for your authentic self, I think, is going to be significant for you. So group 4, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.